Realty Nation, it's your host, Avi Golhar. Welcome to the Think Realty podcast. Today, we're talking to Jeff Tesch, CEO of RCN Capital. There's a lot of things that investors need to know about the market today. The impact of interest rates, what's going on with supply and demand, and maybe some of Jeff's favorite all-time strategies on how to build wealth with real estate. So we'll bring him on in just a second. Before we jump into that interview, a huge shout out to our sponsor for today, Rent to Retirement. They offer fully turnkey properties that are newly built or renovated, leased and managed, allowing you to invest with confidence out of state. They have single-family, multifamily, and new builds across 15 markets that maximize cash flow, appreciation, and equity. Rent to Retirement helps investors build a business plan to achieve financial freedom through real estate investing. Check them out, renttoretirement.com, or call or text 800-311-6781. Jeff, welcome to the show, man. Welcome back. Happy New Year. Let's talk. Interest rates, they're clocking up this year. What's the impact that you see that has on real estate investors today?
Well, Avi, good to be back. 2022, here we go. Interest rates, right? Hot topic. Certainly was a topic in 2021 as the Fed continued their stimulus, continued buying bonds, continued injecting money into the financial system. And investors, what does that mean for you? Well, it means easy access to capital. As a lender, we have never seen access to capital like this in the 12 years that we've been lending out to investors nationwide. Now, with that said, we are at historic lows for investment-related mortgage products. That will not continue into 2022. I am sorry to report. However, we are not going to see a big bounce on interest rates. We expect small, measured upticks in rates that really should give the investment community the ability to be able to buy at a good strike price and have certainty of capital to be able to execute those deals across the country. So, in a nutshell, Avi, the good times continue to roll for investors.
So I've been reading, I subscribe to The Economist, Barron's, the Financial Times, Wall Street Journal, and the New York Times. And I read them almost every day, and that I think Barron's is weekly, and the same thing with Financial Times. Everybody's saying that. Let the good times roll. How long do you think they'll roll, and why?
Well, really, it's got less to do with the actual mortgage interest rates, and it's got more to do with the issue of supply and demand for the single family house and not quite as a distressed situation, but the single family house, there's just not enough across the nation. 2021, 19.1% appreciation. Now, typically when you see appreciation numbers like that, you think that there's going to be an inverse reaction the following year where demand is just going to fall off a cliff. But we don't see it with the lack of supply that's in the marketplace. Let's go back to 2019, which was a fantastic year for investors. Why? Well, the single family new construction hadn't yet caught up from the calamity of 2008, 9, 10. And then you throw the pandemic on top of it in 2020, which only increased the demand for home ownership. We don't see that supply imbalance really correcting itself for at least the next 24 months. So not only will demand for the single family marketplace continue, but investors are going to still enjoy appreciation of their existing properties and properties that they acquire early in 2022. We believe they will see somewhere between a 6 and 9% appreciation before 2022 is out.
So you just mentioned a couple of things, right? We've got tight inventory, we have rising home prices, we have rising interest rates. How do investors win right now outside of my existing portfolio going like that?
Right, which they love, right? Like, who doesn't like to look at their balance sheet and think to themselves, wow, I can't believe how much money I made last year on my existing portfolio. It's it's a wonderful feeling.
Absolutely.
But it also, it gives you pause, thinking to yourself, do I really need to add to this portfolio?
The answer, Jeff, is yes. Absolutely.
Right. And the answer is yes, because of the state of the marketplace.
Yeah.
There's not enough homes. We're going to say it over and over again as 2022 unfolds, and that demand is going to continue to be there. At RCN, we believe that the hottest area, the hottest segment is workforce housing. What is workforce housing? That is your standard 3 to 4 bedroom home in a standard suburban marketplace. I'm not going to give you a price point because that price point where you sit in Atlanta is very different than Sacramento, California. But that actual workforce housing that a family of 3, 4, 5 people can live in, that's the sweet spot. Price point, it depends on your MSA that you're in, but if you buy right, and those deals are out there, Avi, we believe that it's relationship driven to find those deals, and we can certainly talk about that.
What are some of the trends that you're seeing in 2022 for investors? Are you seeing a lot of buy and hold? Are you seeing a lot of flip action? Generally speaking, you guys lend out billions of dollars every single year. What's the go-to strategy for investors, and what's something that you recommend for them to do?
Yeah. So going into the pandemic, 2020, our book of business was ballpark 70-75% short-term buy, fix, and sell, 25-30% long-term hold. Well, that flipped on its head by the end of calendar year 2020. Almost all of 2021 was somewhere in the neighborhood of 70% of all of our transactions were buy and hold, and 30% were fix and flip. And the reason for that is twofold. One, the actual appreciation of the homes. Investors today realize that if they build out a long-term portfolio, you can create generational wealth. So we're not talking about 2, 3, 4, 5 years. We're talking about long-term wealth that you can pass down intergenerational amongst your family members. That's why we've seen that flip. In addition, once again, it's lack of supply to find those flip properties. They're just not there the way they used to be. I touched on this just a few minutes ago, which is how do you find those opportunities today? Well, many of our investors that are winning with relationships. What do those relationships look like? You need to seek out your local REO agents. You need to befriend them and find out and say, hey, I'm going to be your best customer. When that house goes on the MLS, I need a phone call. I will buy that property from you at fair market value immediately. Relationship driven. You want to know when various probate sales are occurring. You want to be there. You want to understand. These transactions are still happening today, Avi, but you need to be proactive. Just scouring the MLS looking for deals is no longer a strategy that works.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back to talk through REO a little bit, because I think that's going to be a very interesting one. I'm a huge believer in tax liens and tax deed investing as well. Probate's another really good one. It's what people don't want to do, right? It's hard. It can be risky to some, but if you know what you're doing, you de-risk that strategy pretty tremendously. And at the end of the day, you're not competing with every other mom and pop investor sending out yellow letters to the same list that's been rotating through investors in your city or town, right? It's a different strategy, it's a different look, and you get an in where other people are just saying, heck no, I can't deal with that. So, Jeff, we got to run. It's always good seeing you and getting some quick market insights from you. If you are looking for loans, if you're looking for whether it's bridge, whether it's ground up construction, whatever it might be, fix and flip, long-term rentals, RCN Capital and the team that Jeff has will help you do that. They're incredible. They're good people. And man, Jeff, good talking to you. Thanks for the time.
Appreciate it, Avi. Love downloading the information. Info at RCN Capital, capital with an A.com. Happy 2022, Avi.
Happy 2022. I appreciate it, Jeff. Go to thinkrealty.com/Houston and sign up to come out to our live event, March 24th and 25th. I'm going to be there. Other real estate pros, local leaders, local experts will be there as well. And let's talk about your investing strategy and what's either holding you back, or what's working for you, what's not working for you. If you try doing Airbnbs in Austin, Texas, for example, it's probably not going to work. But what's working, what's not, let's take advantage of the knowledge in the room. Here's a little bonus, maybe a little incentive on getting out there. You can get a twofer. We're doing a BOGO deal, here in the next couple of weeks. Right now, though, if you go to thinkrealty.com/Houston and you register for 2 tickets, type in the code podcast, you get 1 ticket for free. So it's get one, buy one. Get one, buy one. It's fantastic. Use the code podcast. Get a BOGO deal, thinkrealty.com/Houston, and I'll see you there. Huge shout out to our sponsor for today, Rent to Retirement. They offer fully turnkey properties that are newly built or renovated, leased and managed, allowing you to invest with confidence out of state. They have single family, multifamily, and new builds across 15 markets that maximize cash flow, appreciation, and equity. Rent to Retirement helps investors build a business plan to achieve financial freedom through real estate investing. Check them out, renttoretirement.com, or call or text 800-311-6781. Think Realty Nation, until next time, happy investing.